I'm live. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I realized I had no wire. I've been messing around with the camera all morning, and I haven't had enough of that kava. Java coffee. This is what happens when you don't have enough of it. You gotta make sure you get some. So I'm just gonna adjust the camera a little bit more. I want to make sure everyone can see the feet. So as you can see, our Halloween decorations are down. It's now November 3rd. Wow, crazy. And it's our first snowfall of the day. For those of you who hate snow, don't worry. It's not going to last. For those of you who love snow, it's just a little tease, all right? So let's just give this a little so we don't have to stare at the ceiling. And we just stare at the fun stuff that matters. There we go. How's that looking? I think that looks great. What do you think? So as you can see, all our Halloween decorations are gone, right? The big banner is gone. The skulls are gone. George Sr. and his wife went on their honeymoon. They're gone. George Jr., though, he's going to stay. Because George Jr. has some uses. We can explain certain movements and coaching based on George Jr.'s anatomy. All right? So he's going to stick around for a while. And who knows, some fun stuff he might be getting into. You know, he's got a good personality. He's a little bit quiet, a little bit shy. Kind of one of those background guys. But he's a stand-up guy. He's all... That was terrible. Oh my God, I need more coffee. That was a horrible pun. Oh my goodness. Coffee and water, everybody. Start your day right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do all of our stretches top to bottom today. All right. So we're going to start off with the neck. Because again, a lot of the cold temperature, sometimes you start to get some stiff necks. All right. So you guys know this one. We're going to bring our head forward. We're not going to push it into our chin, right? We're going to let it come forward. So we're bringing the whole thing down. And you're going to feel it pull along the back of the neck. Now, why is it potentially good to put the hands on the hips? I know some of you guys just straight up copy me, which is good, right? I'd rather you do that. But if you notice, as you're trying to come forward, if I lean this way, you see how it kind of, as you're pulling your head down, it's almost wanting to bring your back down, right? It's kind of encouraging you to do this. So you really want to always be straight and bring the head down. Good. And then back up. Nice. Don't do it for long, right? Just 10 seconds. Now to the side. Again, we're not bending our neck here. We're not like forcefully bending our neck in half. We're stretching the muscles on the other side. So when you're bending to this side, it's this side that you're stretching out. So when you bend to the right, you're stretching the left. Right? So it's not about getting your head cranked to one side too much. There we go. Perfect. And why don't we go backwards? There's no need to go backwards. Right? You don't have a muscle on the esophagus. You're good. All the neck muscles around here, okay? So now the final one we're going to do is we're going to take our chin and we're going to aim it towards the armpit. Okay? We're going to use the same motion as we did going forward, right? We're bringing the chin forward. And we're just going to aim it towards the armpit. And by doing that, you're going to feel that whole section, the sides, the backs, the whole thing, all the collection of traps being stretched out. Nice. Good job. Now the other side. Nice. Just like that. Perfect. Good job. Neck is done. Let's do some shoulders. Now, we have our famous shoulder rolls. This time, we're not going to lock our arms, right? We're going to keep them free to move in whatever awkward way you want to hold them because no one ever knows what to do with their arms. Right? Nice. Remember, guys, it's not about speed. It's about big, wide circles. Good. Now back the other way. Now, if you hear, like, for example, I hear kind of some crunching when I go backwards. Some people hear it going forward. That's okay. Why is that the case? Because where you have tightness is where you're going to feel that crunching. Right? So similar to, what would be a good example? geez, tough example. But let's say, I don't, because I was going to say a massage, but I don't know if all of you have gotten a massage, right? But if you ever get a massage, the masseuse can feel it. She'll be floating around and rubbing you and go, oh, there's a little knot here. Just by touch, she can feel it. Right? That's how distinct these things are. And that's a lot of tissue that's supposed to be running in lines like this that have crumpled up and made one of these. Right? So what you're crunching, what you're hearing is this stuff kind of bing, bing, bouncing back into place. Right? Just on a different level. Now, if you feel any discomfort, you should stop right away. You might feel some tingling, but you shouldn't feel any discomfort or pain or sharp pains, right? Because what happens is you might be so tight to the point that, you know what, maybe you shouldn't do this. It's an extreme case, but I gotta mention it because there's a lot of people watching and you might be really, really tight one day. It might be that one day you're tighter than the other. And you know what? I'm not quite there to do these yet. I gotta loosen up a bit before I can do those. It's gonna happen, all right? So we're gonna work on the shoulders a little bit more, but something a little bit different, okay? So arms straight, right? Your hand you're gonna put behind the elbow. Why behind the elbow? Because if you put it here, you tend to bend your forearm. We want it behind the elbow because that arm's gonna be straight. Now, keeping your shoulders back, you're gonna slowly bring the arm across. Now, be careful. Don't roll your shoulder to be this way, right? Keep those shoulders straight. And we're just, that's it. There you go. Good. I know, you know what's funny? I wonder if any of you guys said, hey, Chris, how come you're not starting with the pencil stretch? You always start with the pencil stretch. It's because we got a fun one for you a little bit later, one we haven't done yet before, that I've done, but we haven't done together. So don't worry, you're not that much of a guinea pig. All right, there we go. Good. So what this does, this stretches out. So you have a collection of muscles, okay? You have the anterior deltoid, which is in the front right here. So imagine the seam of a t-shirt, right? So your anterior is up here, posterior is back there, and then your mid comes down here. Now the mid is very, very tight. Right? This involves you doing movements like, you know, lifting a bag up, you know, opening doors, the rotator cuff is connected in there. Okay, so we want to just stretch out that mid deltoid by doing this. And that's it. Nice and easy, right? Remember, we always release, we come into the stretch. Remember, guys, get into that, you feel the stretch. Right? So we're not resisting the stretch. And then we release slowly. Perfect. Doing great. All right, we're going to work on our midsection. So we're going to do a few torso twists. Now, we're going to do something a little bit different. Traditionally, we've been doing them this way or this way, the snake charmers, right? I want to add a little bit more for those of you who might be a little bit more advanced. So for those of you, for those of you who might be a little bit less advanced, let's start here, okay? And remember, we're going to turn that torso, and we're going to do it without letting the hips move, right? So once you get to that point where it feels like your hips want to go, that's where you stop, and you're going to hold it 10 seconds. Good. And back to the middle. You never go right back to the other side. Come back to the middle. You let your muscles settle back down, and the other way. Good. Remember, guys, you don't have to be as far as me. I mean, whatever your line is, whatever that stretch feeling is that makes you want to pull those hips, that's your spot. Okay? So, the advanced version for you guys, here's what we're going to do. It's going to be a little bit fun. So, I'm going to do it sideways. So, you're going to have your hands out to the sides, like so. Right? And then, now that's going to put a little bit of tension on your shoulders. So we need a little bit of extra on there. Okay, ready? Now you're going to rotate. Right? And you're going to try to get your arms going the other direction as much as you can without, you see my hips? See how they're not rocking, right? They're staying here. Good. It's not easy. Wait till we start doing stuff like tilts on top of this. You guys are going to be in for it. All right, now we're going to go the other direction. Okay? Arms to the side. And we turn. Remember, we always turn in the direction the hip is, right? So we don't stand here, turn away. We're facing the hip, right? Let me make sure we're there. Don't let that hip turn. It's going to want to. That's okay. You're good. And remember, deep breath. Done. That's it. Good job. Okay, so here we go, guys. We're going to stretch out the back right now. And this is where our pencil stretch is going to come in as a secondary. So this one's a little bit advanced. For those of you who are a little bit less advanced, let's say, because listen, I don't want to make it so hard that you can't do it. But at the same time, as you do more now, I've been doing this for almost a month, as you do more, you're going to get better and better at it. If it becomes too easy, you don't advance, right? It's called progressive overload. There's actually a term for that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to just go through the steps, and then we're going to do it together, okay? So the first step is we're going to do our back stretch. So you remember we bent the knees, slid down, right? We stretch downward, come back up to the knees, and stand, right? So for those of you who are a little bit less advanced, that's your end point. Okay? For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, we're going to come up. And from here, you're going to go straight up into your pencil stretch in one motion. Okay? So I'm going to do the full one, guys. But if you don't feel like going big, okay, then you just stop when you stand up straight. All right? Perfect. Here we go. So, always posture. Whatever you do, start off with posture. Get yourself as straight as you can. Now, slight bend in the knees. We disengage those hamstrings, right? We're not squatting. We're just disengaging the hamstrings. We're going to slide downward along our legs, keeping our back straight. Tell our knees. And then we're going to come down and we're going to relax. And we're going to hang here. This is our 10 seconds. Good. And if you have to do it with your legs apart, that's fine. Now, arms up. Straighten out the back. Stand up. And for those of us who are ready, we go up. And we reach for that sky. We stretch ourselves up. Good. All right. That's a big one. Good. How'd that feel? Right on. Get some water. Thankfully, well, it's going to be rough in the morning. So just so you guys get an idea. So I'm down here in what was my basement, which is now a gym. The door to the underground garage is right there. So I can see myself getting high off carbon monoxide in the winter. So hopefully people don't keep their cars running. It's heated, so they shouldn't. But yeah. I only mention it because I can smell. So, you know, small doses should be okay. All right, here we go. So, disengage, right? We come down, keep the back straight. We now let ourselves fold down and relax. And really let that back stretch. Good. Now, ready? Knees. Straighten the back, up and all the way up. And we reach, doing our pencil stretch. Good. Perfect. Good job. All right. Well done. That was a big one. So that's good. How'd that feel? Should have felt great. But, you know, we'll see. All right. Now, we're going to stretch out the quads, okay, the front of the legs. Now, I'm going to use a towel. If you're flexible enough, you can just grab your foot. That's fine, right? Whatever works. But for those of us who might not be able to, you're going to do this. And remember, guys, why do I encourage you to hold on to something? Well, Chris, you can stand on one leg. Yes, you can. But what happens is you concentrate and your focus is on standing instead of on relaxing. Right? Because you're supposed to be able to do this relaxed. Now remember, guys, see my knee? Don't do this, because then you're canceling out the stretch. You bring that knee facing the ground and you bring that heel up. And that's why you use a towel, right? Because you might say, well, Chris, I'm not, I can do this, right? And I gotta bend my back to get there, and I can kind of do that. That's not helping. It's gonna be bad for you, and you have potential of hurting yourself. So not only are you not getting the stretch, you could be making other things worse. Right? This is not a contest. We're not showing off. We're here to get the job done and to get the job done right. That's why we're here. All right? Now let's get that. I feel some tingling, guys. Yesterday was leg day for me. And oh my God. I was like, I think I did 160 different reps on my legs. So yeah, this is required for me. Whew. Sometimes you don't realize how good it feels until you get a little bit of that tightness. All right, good job. There we go. Now, if you feel really extra tight, you can do a second one. But usually the quads, one is enough. Most stretches, one is enough. But if you looked at how I went, you know what? I'll go through it again just because I want to bring this up. So if you look at how I did it, okay? Because you're right, even though you didn't technically ask. So let's say I'm so tight that that's as far as my leg will go. Then yeah, you know what? Maybe try a second one and see if you can get a little bit deeper. But there will come a point that your leg just can't bend anymore. And that's as deep as you can get. And you'll feel that stretch. You will know when it's a good stretch. If you are all the way up and you really feel no stretch, you can technically, now this is a big deal, wow, so careful. My back is always straight. You see that, guys? Back's always straight. You can bring that knee back to get a little additional. But that's pushing it. You don't need to. Because remember, we're stretching for everyday things, right? If you were a gymnast, or if you were running a 4-minute mile, or trying to win the 100-meter dashing Olympics, yeah, your stretch routine would be very different, right? But we're doing daily stretches to get everyday mobility up. And if you look at these pros, whenever they're stretching, they have somebody else there doing the stretch for them, right? So there's assisted stretching where someone else is pushing that muscle to where it needs to be so you can stay relaxed. That's why they're there, right? So that your body, the person being stretched can relax completely while the trainer stretches the muscles for them. So it's, when you see this stuff on TV, there's a reason for it. It's not just because they're rich. I mean, it's kind of because they're rich, but not really. All right. So next we're going to work on our hamstrings, which we know and we've established these are the highways to the legs, right? Everything runs down. You got nerves, you got veins, right? All your arteries come down and then they spread out, right? So let's make sure that's nice and healthy. Now, a couple of different ways. I encourage the wall only because it helps people stay established, right? It can let their body relax instead of concentrating on standing up straight. Can you see with that board in the way? Is that blocking the light? Let's move this in a little bit. Live furniture rearrangement. So hopefully the orange background on the wall might help a little bit. I've tried to find white shoes, but apparently they're out of fashion. I don't make them in my giant foot size. All right. So we're keeping that leg straight. Is that better? I hope it's better. Okay. Arms up here. So now if you look, I'm standing up nice and straight because the back is key to this. If the back is bent, you're going to put too much torque on that knee. You're going to say, well, I don't feel the stretch. I don't feel the stretch. You're going to keep going, and then your knee's going to get sore, okay? So we keep that back nice and straight. And keeping that back straight, you're just going to tilt forward until you feel the stretch. Now, if you feel no stretch, you can bring your foot up slightly. But you got to start off coming up in increments, because if you go up too high, you're going to feel it on the back of the knee too much. Yes, you're supposed to feel something on the back of your knee, but it's not supposed to be all on the back of the knee, right? Where you're supposed to feel it is here to here. That should be your intense point. And with your back straight, you're going to feel it up at the top almost instantly. Okay? Now, we can do this again. Anywhere that's comfortable. Anything that can help you keep that foot up. Right? Even something like this. Right? Now, you can do this without, as long as you can keep your back straight, you can do this without leaning on anything. Right? Good. Right? Remember, we relax that leg. So as we get into this stretch, your reflex is going to tense your leg. Take a deep breath and unstretch that leg. What I don't want, guys, very important, don't prop your leg up. Because yes, you could technically feel a stretch, but most of the tension is going to be on the knee. No good, right? We want down. Now I'm going to go forward, right? You can be a hot shot like me. Right? Keep that back straight, and you can lean forward this way, right? As long as you can maintain, remember guys, it's all about this position, right? It's all about this kind of little V shape, right? That gets the job done. So really, and if you want to try it this way, that's fine. You can hold on to something, make sure you're close enough that you don't have to reach. So if you're holding on to something, give you an example. If I got to reach, look, now my back's got to go. Okay? So don't do that. If you got to hold on to something, make sure you're close enough. Doing great. All right. So we've done those. I know we've done that like 8 different ways right now, but okay. Now we're going to work on the calves, then ankles, and then we're done, guys. We're doing great. Now what are we at? 20 minutes. Not bad. I realize I do a lot of this. If you're watching this later on your own time, watch it almost like a study video, okay? Write down what it is we do. Get the idea of how to do it properly. Try it out. Take your time to practice. And then when you want to do it in the morning, it should take you 5 minutes. It takes long because I'm going through examples and steps and really taking it slow with you guys, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do a calf stretch. You can do this holding on. You can do this freehand. Whatever matters that your back is straight. And you have one foot behind the other comfortably. Not so far back that it hurts your Achilles tendon, okay? Comfortable stride. And we lean forward, keeping the back heel on the ground. And that's going to cause the stretch. If you're having trouble holding yourself up, you just hold on because we have to relax into that stretch. You got it, exactly. But notice the back, right? So you're not doing this. Good. And guys, as we work out the back and we get a little bit stronger and firm it up, you're going to notice that slouching hurts you. So for now, at the beginning, you're going to start getting a tired back if you're working on your posture, right? Because you're working on muscles, just like I have tired legs because I did leg days. Like that's how that works, right? But you're going to notice that your posture will naturally be straight. You won't have to force it, right? It'll just be that way. So that's a good benefit. So that's it, guys. Calves, done. Real easy, okay? So now we're going to do the ankles. Not quite advanced, but what I like to have them is up in the air. So hold on to something and get that foot up, right? And the reason is because I want to encourage those big circles, right? Again, if it's a big square, that's okay. They will become circles. And I'd rather let's do five big ones. There we go. And the other direction. Yep, I know. I can hear you right. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. You already put that foot down. I'm ready for the other foot. But no, you have the other direction. Good. All right. Other foot. There we go. All right. Well, that foot's a little bit more crackly than the other one. You got a little bit of Rice Krispies happening. All right, and back the other way. Yeah, that snap, crackle, pop, as they say. That's okay. Like we said, we know what it is, right? It's that tight tissue. And done. There we go. So that's it, guys. You did great. Listen, full body stretch. Don't worry about the snow. Don't let it get you down. And there's one other thing, guys, I really want to emphasize for you, okay? Especially right now, mental health is really, really important. Okay, so in the States, there's a lot of stuff going on. They're having an election. Crazy stuff's going on. People are running each other off the roads like Mad Max style. But on our end, what we need to do is avoid what's referred to as doom scrolling, right? So that means you go on Facebook or you go on CNN and you're just scrolling. Bad news from bad news to bad news to bad news. And that's very discouraging, guys. It's very depressing. It's not good for your mental health because you know what? You have a life to live outside of a 24-hour news cycle. You have people who love you. You have people that you love. You have the sun shining. Yeah, it snowed. So what? You know what? It's actually kind of pretty, right? Nice brisk air. Get out. Get some air. Dress up warm, right? But make sure we don't let ourselves get sucked into doom scrolling. It's become a real problem in society, especially in the last 8 months, that we're all locked inside. So put away those tablets, put away those phones, put away those computers, get out a book, right? Read, go for a walk, do something fun, do something exciting, and relax, and we will see you tomorrow for some chair stretches, all right? Have a good day, everybody. New camera still means awkward parting. You're very welcome for the stretches.